Today, I want to talk about licensed versus unlicensed or certification versus uncertification. There's a lot of um, questions surrounding this topic. So I wanted to address my thoughts on this topic and, what is best for your agency or what is best for the agency that you're planning on starting. So my name is Terria. I currently run a six-figure licensed day hab program supporting individuals with developmental disability. I help others, start up their day hab programs also supporting individuals with disabilities. So, my knowledge around licensings and certifications, or unlicensings and uncertifications, is very extensive, especially surrounding around licensing. Okay, so first I want to talk about three of the great things about being unlicensed. You'll hear me interchange licensing and certification because some states require you just to get certified, and some states require you to be licensed and certified to support individuals with disabilities. Okay, and in some states, the language just changes out a little bit. So I want to, I have viewers from all over the world, so I want to make sure I preference what your state uses so it doesn't confuse you. Okay, so three great things about being unlicensed or uncertified. The first thing is you can set your own rates. So, whatever you feel like you need to be paid supporting the individuals, you can set your own rate. There's no standard rates around what you feel is best. I do recommend that you do a little research in your market, look at other providers in your state, and see what would be the best rate to be competitive with other providers in your state. Okay. Number two, no state oversight for compliance. So, if you're unlicensed, you don't have the state coming in every year to make sure you're in compliance, reviewing their checklist and seeing if you upheld the standards of state regulations. You pretty much just need to make sure that, you're following building codes, you're following, the supports that you're saying that you're going to be providing, and the family and the individuals are happy with the care that they're receiving. Number three, it's easier to start up. You don't have to go through the licensing process, which requires a lot of supporting documentation, policy procedures, which are, great to have, but you don't have to surround that around the state standards and what the state expectations are. Okay. I'm going to talk about three of the not so good things about being unlicensed. Number one, a lot of individuals with developmental disabilities receive Medicaid services. So, of course, they're going to be looking for a provider that will take and accept their services, their Medicaid services that they have received. So, if you don't, if you're not licensed, a licensed provider, you can't bill Medicaid services, so that takes you out of the loop for that. Okay. Number two, marketing. You'll have to find all your clients and do a lot of marketing and get clients in the door. So, there's many different tools that you can use for marketing, but there will be a lot of marketing, or you'll just have a program sitting there with absolutely no individuals. And lastly, client payment defaults. So if clients are paying on their own versus Medicaid automatically paying you for the services, once you submit the billing, there is a potential of client defaulting on their payment, especially when they're going through hard times. It is that potential. So it's a risk that you take. Okay, so let me go into licenses or certifications, okay? And with these, I'm going to talk about the three good and the three bad. So the three good about licensing is you have a provider network. So typically, all of the providers that are licensed, they meet quarterly and just go over, changes within your state. They go over struggles that they have within their agency, and you can, you have a support network there. Um, a lot of people think that it's very challenging amongst agencies, and it is sometimes very challenging. However, a lot of agencies definitely stay connected because they experience the same struggles. They go through the same things. They're fighting for the same things with the state, whether it be more payment, better services, better support, the compliance check not being fair or accurate. So they share some of the same common struggles. So having having a provider network is awesome. Number two, ongoing state referrals. So if you are licensed and you take Medicaid or waiver services, the state will refer. I mean, not to say that you can't still market, but trust me, you'll have a ton of referrals coming from the state. Typically, the state will just put out the referrals for all the providers to look at. Depending on what services you offer, there will be a lot of referrals coming through that you can definitely set up a meet and greet with those individuals and see if your services are a good fit for them. There's definitely not a limit of individuals needing services. Number three, you're paid by Medicaid, so you don't have to worry about those payments being defaulted. Like I said earlier, you just submit your billing for the services you provide, and Medicaid will pay you. Okay, let's talk about the three bad things of being licensed, or the three struggles of being a licensed provider agency. Number one, the state oversight. The state will ensure that you are in compliance. So, depending on what state you are that you're in, they'll come out either annually or twice a year to make sure you're in compliance. And trust me, they do have a checklist that they go by just to make sure that you're in compliance with state regulations. So, if you're prepared and you know what to expect, it's not a problem. Number two, you can't set your own rates. So there are standard rates that the state sets for you. They only pay out a certain amount for a certain service that you provide. So you have to be paid within those rates. You can't, say, no, I feel like we need to be paid more. These rates are already set, and that's what they paid you based upon. Like I said, the provider network is really helpful because providers are always, just battling to get additional rates for services, working together to increase rates, throughout the year. So that's also a benefit. Number three, the certification process is very difficult. And I don't want to really say difficult. It's just very labor intensive. There's a lot of steps and a lot of things you have to do to go through that process, which is why I support providers every day going through the certification process, answering questions, figuring out what is in state standards, what is not in state standards, the simplest way of going through that process. I actually have a step-by-step strategy that I work with agencies on how to get through that agency successfully without, having it kicked back because you didn't have XYZ done right. You didn't attach the licenses or appropriate documentation that they're requiring. Your standard has the right lingual and it's individual based. So, I help agencies, aspiring agencies, or current agencies that's looking to transfer over and go into Dayhab or go into supportive living. I help them get through that certification process. So if you're somebody that definitely once to go through licensing, you see, that licensing suits your business structure. You see that licensing will be the best next step for your agency, but you're just scared or not sure how to go through the process to become certified, become licensing, and start accepting Medicaid payment. I can help you with that process. So just drop me a comment below, and then we can set up a call and chat and let you know what the next best step is. Talk to you guys later. Bye.